What is up, beautiful people of YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are working on the chopper again. We are doing some final touches and it is pretty much done. If you watched my short the other day, you know the bike starts and runs. But we've got just a couple tasks to finish. The bike is completely wired, but I still have a little bit of wiring to tuck. And I have to run my brake line, as well as my front wheel sitting over there. This front wheel is bent. I used for mock-up purposes. So those couple things are all that's left to do on this. Let me show you what I've done this week. So carburetor's on. I did rejet the carb. It had a 180 in it. I went down to a 170 because I had a 1200. Now this is an 883. And so that should be properly jetted. It runs great. This bike has had an issue with the carburetor float since I bought it. I got that corrected. It didn't leak any fuel last night. It used to be it would just leak fuel nonstop if you didn't turn the petcock off. Exhaust is mounted up, and I did chop this exhaust. So I bought this exhaust from Dennis Kirk. It was like 85 bucks. It was real cheap, just some drag exhaust. I took about 6 inches off the front and back, and I'm a little bit of a nerd about the weirdest things. So I went and I even softened all the edges. So you can there's no sharp edges on this exhaust. Did the same with the front here. So that's all mounted up, ready to go. But today, we are going to get these brake lines ran, get the front wheel on, and finish up this wiring. But before we do that, do me a huge favor. Go ahead, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It helps the channel grow. That helps projects like this. We're currently looking for another project. I've been scouring the Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and whatnot. Not sure what we're going to do. Maybe a Shadow. I'm looking at some VLX 600s. Maybe another chopper. Who knows? But we have been browsing. So if you subscribe, that helps stuff like this. Like, comment, all of that. It helps the YouTube algorithm. It gets me more views. More views I get, the more content we can create. Pretty simple. So, also follow me on social media while you're at it. Links are down there in the description box. But let's dive into this. Before I throw the camera on time-lapse, because I've got a little bit I have to grind off of this caliper for my brake line to fit properly, which I'm going to throw that on time-lapse for. Let's turn the fuel on. You see this is an ice-cold bike. Has not ran since yesterday. Fuel on. Let's pull the choke. It's fired up. Fires up, runs great. Nothing to complain about. She wasn't warm enough yet to give any throttle. See, headlight works. Got low, high beam, and you turn the headlight off, which I don't know why you'd ever want to turn a headlight off. We have our tail light. So there's the run-in light, and once we get that hydraulic switch, well, it's already wired. Once we get the hydraulics ran for it, then we will be able to have brake lights. So let me throw you guys on the tripod, and let's dive into getting some of this stuff done. Alrighty, so let's go over here and I'll show you what I did, which you just saw in the time lapse. I went ahead and let me get down here. I relieved a notch in this caliper so this brake line will fit. I could have got a like 15-degree offset fitting, but the fitting I had was straight, so we're just going to work with what we had, and that was our fix. Now we're going to take that fitting and this brake line, all of this available from TC Bros, and you can make your own brake lines. So I guess let's go ahead and take this off, head over to the workbench. So like I've said, I've never used one of these, but we're just going to wing this. It shouldn't be that difficult. I believe TC Bros has a video on their website how to do it, but that doesn't sound nearly as much fun. Alright, so I went and looked up the directions on how to do this because, first of all, I've never done it. Second of all, I tried to do it my own way, and I'm an idiot. So I tried to use a pair of snips, and it just kind of crushed the line, didn't work. So the directions on TC Bros says to use a cutoff wheel. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. It says to wrap it tightly with tape, and then use a cutoff wheel to make the cut. Alrighty, so after a good like 5 minutes of hating your life, you can slide the nut on the end of that. That was not pleasant. What does the directions say to do next? Okay. It says to separate the inner liner. I don't really think it says to use a small screwdriver, but it seems like it naturally wants to separate. Slip the brass over. What's next? Then we just tighten that down, and we have our first end of our brake line. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of sucked. Okay. That's gonna be easier to tighten on the bike, so let's go ahead and get this thrown on the bike. Okay, there we go, that's tight. Let's run that to the other side and get that done. So I've got the brake line ran and zip tied in place. So now I need to make another cut, put another fitting on, and that brake line will go right there. So I'm going to give myself just a little bit of slack just in case I need to do this twice. So let me grab some tape. Now that one went on substantially easier than the other side did. Substantially easier. So, first one really sucked, but I guess normally the first one of everything sucks because you're trying to figure out what the hell you're doing. So now you want to break the stainless steel away from the inner liner. Alrighty, so I saved you guys the boredom of watching me bleed brakes. My wife came over and helped me bleed those. I vacuumed them first. If you've ever bled brakes on a Harley, you know sometimes when you put a new line on, they don't like to bleed unless you get them started with a vacuum. So we got that done, and the wires are tucked. So I threw a handful of zip ties on, but And now you'll see the bike is facing the opposite direction. It's turned around and it's back on the jack, so we can swap out that front wheel. So this project, after that wheel's done, this project's done, right? I mean, I still got to clean the bike up. I've got to wash it, wax it, get it all prettied up for the final reveal. But there's one person who really deserves a huge thanks. And if you guys could all head down to the comments below and give them a thanks, and that is my wonderful wife. She has been selfless with giving up her time with me so I can come up here every Saturday and spend the day working on this thing for the last nearly 3 months. And it is done. She's motivated me. She's pushed me to do this. You know, she's been listening to me talk about wanting to build a chopper forever. Every time I watch a Saddle Tramp video, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to build a Sportster chopper. And finally, she's like, well, then do it. You've got a frame sitting around. So here it is. And I'm so freaking excited. So let me throw you guys on the tripod, and let's get this front wheel swapped out and finish this bike up. Alright guys, she's all done. Oh, she's right there. She's beautiful. I can't wait. So we had an ice storm yesterday, so she's staying in today. But Monday's supposed to be 65 degrees. I'm going to go take her up to the car wash, get her all washed up, and I'm going to shoot the reveal video on Monday. So excited. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you all for your support. Again, please hit that subscribe button, comment below, like the videos, follow us on social medias. All the link to our social media is in the description below. So is a link to our company website, Headstalls.com. We make everything for horses. We make dog leashes, dog collars. Throw us some love. There's a discount code. And that's going to wrap this one up. I will see you all in the next one. I'm out of here.